We live on one of the most remote inhabited islands in the South Pacific. We don't own the boat, so the nearest pharmacy for us is about 5-hour hike over the mountain. So when someone gets sick, medicine doesn't always start in a bottle. Sometimes it starts with a person who still remembers which leaves to pick. And that's the part that I can't stop thinking about, because if that person forgets or never teaches anyone else, the medicine doesn't just become harder to find, it completely disappears. Today, Tanguy is taking me into the valley to collect the ingredients for one of those traditional medicines. But the challenge is not finding plants, it's knowing which plants to collect and why. Because out here, the knowledge is a difference between finding what you need or just walking right past it. And deeper we go into the valley, the more I realize this is not just about medicine. It's about knowledge that only exists because someone still remembers it. By the end of the day, all of these ordinary looking plants will turn into something that people here still drink to stay healthy. And I'm going to try it myself. So I will let you know how it tastes and how I feel.
Yeah.
So elegant. These are the mushrooms that we like to eat. They call them the mouse ears. So many. Yeah, we're gonna collect some. They're so good. It's always like this, you search for one thing and then you find another. A few years ago, Tanguy hurt his eye. If that happened to me, I would immediately go to the hospital. But Tanguy had a different plan. Getting him to go to the hospital was a full-on mission. I literally had to drag him there. And when we finally got there, things got weird. The nurse started apologizing because she couldn't find his medical records, but she kept searching. And then Tanguy looked at her and said, "Well, that's because I don't have any." This man had no health records. If someone gets a cough, a skin infection, or just starts feeling sick, many families still turn to the knowledge that was passed down through generations. It's a knowledge about plants, trees, roots, and leaves, and all of this is taken straight from the land that's around them. Not long after I moved here, we were going over the mountain. It was a 5-hour hike, and I was carrying our cat in my arms. At one moment, the cat got scared and scratched me. It was a pretty bad scratch, but I didn't care. And then a few days later, I got a really bad infection under my arm. It got to the point where I couldn't lift my arm anymore. So we went to the hospital, and while we were waiting in the waiting room, there were 2 Marquesan men who were also there as patients, and they came to Tanguy and started explaining to him which plants he should collect for me, like which leaves, which ingredients. And they were totally serious. And I just remember sitting there thinking, like, my arm is about to fall off. Maybe we are slightly past that point. So if medicine doesn't come from a pharmacy, then where does it come from? To find that answer, we are following the same path Tanguy takes when he needs medicine. And what I love about this is that everything comes from right here in the valley. You just have to find it. The medicine Tanguy is making today is not for any specific illness. It's something people use here to stay healthy. We found the tow tree, and now we need to collect 7 yellow and 7 green leaves. And it's important that they're not from the floor. Naturally, the first question I asked was why? Why 7? Why green and yellow? Why not just any color? And this is where traditional knowledge becomes fascinating, because the instructions survived, but the explanation didn't. When you live this close to nature, you just work with whatever's around you. But what do you do when you forget a bag? Tanguy always has a solution, and this problem was quickly sorted. It's one of those moments that says a lot about life here. People don't spend much time stressing about problems. They just look around, find what's available, and they make it work. What are we collecting next?
Papamoko.
Papamoko is next. So we need to go deeper in the forest. Okay, let's go. This is the reason I cannot get fat here. It's literally impossible. In hell. Oh, careful. I love Tanguy's roads. The Vaipo trail. The places he takes me. I love it though. I'm not complaining. I mean, I am, but I'm not. This is awesome. Oh! This is the perfect one. Because it's not supposed to be open.
No open.
It needs to be closed. Oh yeah, this is a perfect example. Whenever I share stories like this, people often assume there is a competition between traditional and modern medicine. Does one replace the other, or is the answer more complicated? Traditional medicine plays an important role in everyday life, but when things get more serious, modern medicine becomes essential. So in many ways, they both exist side by side. And honestly, I think that's one of the most interesting things about life on this island. You can spend the whole morning collecting medicinal plants in the forest and still end up in the hospital if you need to. This is the manu tree, another medicinal tree. We don't actually need it for today's medicine, but it's one of the trees that it's hard to ignore once when you know what it is. These trees grow on many Pacific islands, and for generations people collected nuts to make oil. If you spend enough time around island people, you will hear about tamanu oil all the time, for things like cuts, mosquito bites, or skin problems. And everyone's got a story about it. Today is not the right season for collecting the nuts. Most of the ones we find are either still green or already too old and lying on the ground. But somehow, Tanguy still manages to find a good one. I honestly don't know how he does it. To me, they all look roughly the same, but to him, it's obvious. Hey, buddy. Hey. They call them tupa here. They are harmless. As we walk through the valley, it's hard not to notice everything around us. This is not just a place where we find medicine. This is also where we get food, materials, and pretty much everything we need to live here.
Need to be gentle.
Oh, you're a gentleman today. Only for the video, or? No, you are always a gentleman. I'm playing with you. As it turns out, we also need a green coconut for today's medicine, so we bring one with us. Then we are off to find sugarcane, and again, Tanguy already knows exactly where to go. And that's the thing about this valley. Everything is connected. The plants used for medicine grow right next to the plants used for food. There is no clear line between them. Let's go. Watching Tanguy move around the valley, I have no idea how he keeps track of everything, because there are no signs and no maps. But this is his family valley, and he knows exactly where to go. As we are walking through the valley, there is one thing that is just impossible to miss. It's Vaipo, the highest waterfall in French Polynesia. The first time I visited this valley, it was because of the waterfall, but instead I met Tanguy. And that one moment changed my whole life. If you would like to hear the full story, I will link it at the end of this video. It's the story of a girl from Europe who ended up building a pretty unique life in one of the most remote valleys in French Polynesia.
Hey.
We could never pass through here quickly, and we always end up staying longer than planned. There is something about this place. It really feels like the heart of our valley. It's just so beautiful.
This is the tiki my uncle make, huh? My last uncle live here. Maybe 30 years now ago. So our symbol, our symbol, come from tiki and mata tiki. Just you see the mata tiki, they say from Marquesas, that culture.
Do you still see Tiki as a god?
Yeah, until now, huh? Yeah, I think so. No, that come from me, from my tupuna. I need to keep them no disappear. Disappear not finish. After me, finish. It will be no me. This me. This. I believe this. And everything
nature.
natural. No. What else do you need?
What else do you need?
Yeah.
So you would say this is your religion?
Yeah, that.
The nature.
The nature.
And your Tiki?
Mine. No, my tiki. And I'm not tiki. Yeah? Marquesan God. God.
After hours of walking, we are finally home. And now comes the part where all the ingredients turn into medicine. For Tanguy, this is not just about the ingredients, it's also about doing things the right way. So instead of using modern tools, he does it the way his family has done it for generations. One of my favorite parts is the filtering. Most people would just grab a plastic strainer without even thinking. But Tanguy uses a coconut husk and squeezes the liquid through the fibers. Watching this really feels like watching something that's slowly disappearing. This is not something that's done for tourists or demonstrations. This is actually a living tradition, still part of everyday life.
You don't throw like that. If you for medicine, never throw like that everywhere. You just bring in close to one plant.
You always put it around the plant. So you never throw it just like
Never
that?
throw like that.
Always put it around the
Yeah.
other plants?
Other plant.
Okay.
Now we need to drink for 3 days.
And no heavy physical activity, huh? We cannot do
no
anything
heavy activity. No sensor, nothing. No hunting man.
No hunting man.
Yeah, no hunting man.
And love vahina.
Also that.
Oh, you cannot love?
Yeah, I cannot.
Okay.
More heavy though.
That's more heavy.
Yeah.
You think it's gonna work on Croatian women?
If you believe, yeah.
If I believe.
Show me your medicine.
Haika. It tastes really good because of the coconut water. Honestly, I could drink this every day. Not just for 3 days. At the start of the day, I thought we were going into the valley to collect medicine. But by the end, I realized we were collecting something that it's much harder to preserve. Memories. Because the plants will keep growing here, but without someone who knows what they are, where to find them, and how to use them, the medicine will disappear even though it's all around us. And every time I walk through the valley with Tanguy, I'm reminded that entire libraries of knowledge can live inside one person. And that's why I love documenting days like this. If you enjoyed the stories we share, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one. And click on this video to learn more about our story.